Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Moving around, cameras following me. I don't know if I like that. I have to pause that one real quick. How's everybody? I'm seeing a few folks in chat this morning. Yeah, that's better. So we don't constantly move around. I move a lot and I use my hands a lot, so I don't need the camera all over the place. Aaron, Ref, Kitchell, Tin Talon, DIY Maker, Nadir, good morning. Oh dear, the sweater. So Aaron, it's like 45 degrees this morning and the garage is right about the same. I don't get the wind blast, so the wind chill is not a factor for me, but it is pretty chilly in here. I almost had the what do you call it? The beanie on this morning. Good hour later morning, yeah. Hour later morning helped out. I got an extra 30 minutes of sleep or something like that. But it did kind of freak me out this morning. I was walking around the house and I happened to look at one of the clocks and it said 7:35 and I was like, holy crap, I got to stream in 10 minutes. I'm not ready. And so like I'm running around and then I look down at the watch and it says 6:45. And I was like, I scared myself. Matt, good morning. How we doing? Good morning. 5:49 p.m. Not a bad time, Nadir. Not a bad time at all. That's right around dinner time when folks are starting to relax. Propane heater. I might have to. I've got a small space heater right over there, and that kind of keeps the lower body warm. But you're not wrong. I might need something propane. All right. I think I said hello and good morning to everyone. If I didn't, sorry. There's Liz. Get the lip gloss out. Liz is here. Happy Sunday. Making breakfast and lurking, yeah. Where's the lip gloss? I've already got mine on. It's like permanent lip gloss. Just for you. Get out of sorts for a bit around. Yeah, a little bit for me too. It's more worse in the springtime when we lose that hour. Then I'm roughly an hour behind on everything. So gaining an hour is a good problem to have. Propane, too much moisture. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. With you're saying like the condensation in the air, Happy? I think for me, the humidity out here is pretty low year round anyway. We're talking less than 25% most of the year. And even in the wintertime, it gets even lower than that because it's so cold. So I don't know that I have to worry about moisture too much. Oh, hi, Nomad. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Jeff, good morning. Steve, good morning. Yeah, I'm probably okay. I didn't say hi to you. I didn't see you. I didn't scroll back in the chat to catch everybody this morning, but yeah, we got enough folks here that it's pretty awesome. You have to take down your bench with 4 printers, getting a new patio door, and they're redoing the floor. Ouch. Got to keep the sawdust out. Yeah, another thing you could do is just wrap it in a garbage bag, and that should keep some of the dust out of it. PrusaWire go vroom today. We'll see. We'll see. I hope so. We'll get into it, but I had issues until about an hour ago, and then I figured out what stupid thing I did. And so hopefully I didn't break stuff, but we'll see. Thoughts on the Core 1? Love it. Nomad, I love it. I would love to have one in the workshop. My only hang-up is the cost. That $1,800 price tag is a little bit much for me right now, but absolutely love it. Would love to put my hands on one, play with it, and give it the beans. But we'll see. Gives you a chance to make the setup better. I agree. Think you're gonna save your shekels for your first Prusa? Yeah, Howie. I think the Core 1 is pretty nice. They took the Core 1 regular and some of the, I don't know, less than ideal factors with it. I know they were still trying to update it and things like that software wise. You took all of those initial changes and updates and fixes that they had for the original Core 1, made them standard on the Core 1L, and then gave you a larger build volume with only, I think the tagline was like 10% increase in physical size. For me, that ticks a lot of boxes, not even gonna lie. I am a workhorse printer kind of guy, And then I have a bunch of other printers that I work on and tweak and modify and play with. But having a third workhorse printer, it's making me wonder if I want to wait for the P1S. Just being honest. And especially knowing that in the US, I can get it from printed solid and not have to worry about, you know, a couple of weeks of shipping or anything like that. I've got someone in the US that can handle any warranty claims, provide service, that kind of stuff. Core 1 makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. The L is really nice in person. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of you, Nomad. You get to sit up there and play with all the new things and talk about it and really use it before the rest of us. I would love to be in your shoes. The oak one does look nice. If I had one printer that I put in the house, I think that's the one she'd allow me to have in the house. I don't even want to ask what the cost of that thing is, though. But if Prusa does open source it, there's no reason you couldn't build your own. Just find a woodworking buddy and have them build you the cabinet and then shove everything inside of it. That would be not hard letting secrets slip. Yeah, I bet. But you did. But you did it. Nomad, I know you've played with one at work, most likely. I'm sure that's one of the benefits of working for printed solid. Do you have one at home that you're able to play with? No NDA violations on your watch? You want the plans for the wood version? Aaron, I agree. I think if Prusa open sources that and allows other folks to be able to build their own, that'd be a really niche thing that other companies are not doing. But I don't work there, so don't have the L at home. Yeah. I think if I had one at home, I'd play with it 24/7. I would be out here in the garage for hours at a time, and she'd have to call me in just to get me off of that thing. I really want to just test the crap out of it. He has a different L. Would explain your streaming absence, though, if it was true. Yes. Yes. It's on his forehead. Yeah. Yeah, Core 1 is exciting, man. I'm excited for what's to come, and I would love to see, and I think this is, if I were a betting man, I would bet that the Index is going to be compatible with the Core 1L, and that is much more desirable to me than a smaller version tool changer. And so if I could have a Core 1L with an Index system, maybe a 5 tool, hands down, it would be something I used every day. You don't do that now? Your girlfriend is pretty sure you would starve to death at your friend's life? I don't technically do that now. I try to be cognizant of how much time I spend out here. My family is important to me, and spending time with them is important to me. And so what I choose to do instead is either get up hours before they do, and I'm out here a couple of hours every morning before they even get out of bed, or on the weekends, I do the same sort of thing. I get up even extra early to be out here, and because they sleep in, I get extra time. Triple XL with Index, that'd be cool. Index on a Core 1. Yeah, Aaron, I think that's going to come out. I'm just saying that the increased build volume with an Index system on top of it is desirable for me. The L name is safe. Index will likely be compatible. It doesn't make sense for us not to. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make sense to not do it, especially with the increased build volume and all the other features. It was interesting to me that there's still talk of an MMU3. That's interesting. I mean, if you do Index, I don't see why MMU3 would still be a thing. Maybe it's more cost effective for some folks to have an MMU3 over the Index, but if they are similar in cost, the time savings and the headache savings of the Index might be a better option. Yeah, it does have its place. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think folks that want to deal with it could deal with it and maybe get in at a better entry price. But Index, if launched at the cost that they're advertising or that has been rumored and talked about, if they launch on time at that cost entry point, I think it's going to be the better option for a lot of folks. And then you can continually add to it later as you become more financially able to do so. Yeah, maybe for an older machine like a Mark IV, that would make sense. For a Core 1, I would just wait for Index. I would just wait for index. But that's one man's opinion. You guys do what you want. There's still a lot of MMU systems rolling out, having struggled switching gears. Yeah, MMU is it was a way that we were able to get different color changing and different multi-material through a single nozzle, but with the rise of the tool changer, I think that may be the better way to go for most people. I don't know that MMU will ever really be dead, but things like an index, things like a tool changer are probably the way that the community is going, based on just what I see personally. That's my opinion. Use your S1 to do PLA supports on PETG all the time, and it poops a lot. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Titty Baby. Yeah, the dual, like the PLA with PETG support whole kind of thing is fantastic. I do it a lot on the H2D over there. So I typically will have PETG loaded in, and then this time of year I'm doing a lot of things for Halloween. Titty Baby's in the chat. I'm doing a lot of Halloween stuff, Thanksgiving stuff, Christmas stuff, both to give away and to fulfill some orders. And so having PETG loaded all the time as a support material is kind of my go-to on the H2D right now. In the AMS2 is just a bunch of different PLA colors, and then on the other side is a bunch of PETG. And I just looked over there and noticed that it's flashing at me, so something's wrong with it. Yeah, it's some sort of error on the H2D. You've skipped tool changers so far because none of them have a good high temp. What's a WT? High temp WT. Not sure what that means. But I do have a tool changer in a box down here. It's one of the ones that you have to build. It's a ProForge 4. I keep talking about it. It is not on the calendar on when we're going to do that thing, but it is in the back of my mind that I need to build it or I need to do something else with it. Let me find out what's going on with this machine over here. It stopped for some reason. Oh, the filament ran out. How is that possible? One second. Oh, I guess it did run out. That's dumb of me not to check that. Oh, setup typo. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, let's look at the PrusaWire. That's why we're all here. Hey, Pathetic Puma. Let's talk about the PrusaWire a little bit. That's why everybody's here. Kind of give you the rundown on what has been going on. And in the meantime, I need to add more blue to the printer here, but I don't remember exactly where I put it all. I'll get to that in a few. It'll be fine. They're just bottom panels anyway. All right, but here's the PrusaWire that we've been working on, and I have kind of neglected as a project for the last couple of weeks. It is powered on right now. You can see green lights inside on the Nighthawk there. And yeah, we're gonna use the Pinda for this. It's got the stealth burner on already. I do need to tension the belts. They're still loose because I was messing with things yesterday. However, on the electronic side, let me see if I can spin this. Actually, we should probably go this way. So it is powered on. I was having a brain fart yesterday, and I couldn't get the thing to power on, and I thought maybe the power supply got busted somehow, but I'm really not sure what happened. PrusaWire specific manual coming soon. I agree, Aaron. I know that I was supposed to help you with that, and I apologize. I have not been very accessible lately. Either way, so this is what I was dealing with, and so what I did, the manual for the SKR is not very clear. It indicates that, so as you can see on the lower left is the diagram for the board in the lower left of the screen there, and at the bottom left corner of that diagram is the input, right? And it says DC in on the left hand side of that connection, which implied to me that that would be the positive, and so that's where I connected the positive wire. Turns out it's actually swapped. The positive wire should be on this end of the connector, not this end of the connector. And so it wouldn't allow the power supply to come on because it sensed the short, which is great. I love that. What I don't know, and what we're about to find out, is did I break the board? I have an LED light on that says status power. So it is getting power of some sort. I just don't know if I broke something or not. And I don't need USB power, so I can pull that off from there. Because we were doing that earlier. And so that's where I kind of paused just to get prepped for stream. You were going to ask. Yeah, Aaron, that's one of those things that you're going to have to stay on top of me about, because I definitely do get busy. And it gets shuffled to the bottom of the list. I'll be honest with you guys, doing this raffle right now is taking pretty much all of my spare time to make sure that we are prepped for stream, to make sure that we're doing some of the other prints and stuff like that, while still planning for what the stream looks like after raffle time. So, oh, and I work a full-time job, and I'm a dad, and I got to be a husband from time to time. So very little bit of time. Eric Builds helping out, so don't feel bad. I appreciate that. I definitely do feel a little bit of guilt for not being as useful as I said I could be. Good morning, Keela. We got Keela and Titty Baby in the chat. Keela, that was a fun stream you guys had on Friday. I was out trick-or-treating and drinking, having a good time here in the neighborhood, and listening to you guys as we were walking around. I don't see how you guys pull this stuff off sometimes. Happy, don't cry for us, Argentina. This is what the life we chose. But it does get busy. Like, you have to be very careful with your free time to make sure that you are that you're doing the things that matter. Whatever the closest shark to the boat is, that's typically what you prioritize, right? So having those priorities and scheduling out what you can do based on the time that you have. The problem is, you know, sometimes work for me is not static. So I don't work a 9 to 5. I work as much as I need to work to get the things done that I need to get done. And so sometimes that impacts my ability to be able to take on extra work, especially this time of year with events and all these other things going on. So all that said, we're going to stop whining about it. It is the way that it is. We are very close to having this done. Will it be done today? I don't know. We got to get some firmware done, and I've got about 2 hours from right now to be able to do that. So that's the overview of where we are. The last mechanical thing I need to do on this is tighten up the belts, and then we should be, you know, only firmware limited at this point. Very hard to juggle. Some handle it better than others. Yeah, I agree. I think as long as you protect your time, you have a very stable, repeatable schedule, it works. That is not my schedule. So for me, it's forcing the function every time. All right, here is where we are. Let me move this out of the way. You can see that we are connected to clippers. So I've got things working on the Pi. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. We've got things working on the Pi. I have not flash clipper to the board yet at all. This is a new board that I found in my stash over there somewhere, and just sort of added it to the thing. Sorry, my windows got messed up, but just sort of added that to the build, and here we are. So we need to flash clipper at this point, and I think that's what I want to do next. So that's where we have the shell script open in here, and I haven't used it in a little bit, so it went to sleep on me. Hey Boothie, good afternoon and good morning from America. A little bit chilly out here today. I think in degrees C, it is 10 C today. And this morning, when I first got out here, it was about 7 or 8 C. So that's why we get the hoodie on. We're covering up the Fabrico shirt. I really like this one. It says, how much do you benchy? Fits my personality exactly. Hey Steve, good morning. Yeah, we're taking a quick look at PrusaWire here and trying to get the firmware going on this one. And then if I can do that today, that'll be what I call success. Okay, so we're in here, and I think first I need to do bootloader things. Hey, Arma 3D Printing, Dave, good morning. Habit, good morning. Let's see. I think I can do that from here. Yeah, Kiao is my preference. Sorry, I need to adjust the window a little bit. Here we go. See that a little better now. This is my preference, is to use this just because it lessens the amount of commands that I have to learn and know. Alright, things are getting covered. There we go. Alright. And so first I think I want to do, let's see, number 4 will get me into the firmware portion of this thing. It will be connected via... Oh wow. Yeah, so I'm just noticing that I didn't connect a USB cable to the Pi to communicate with the board. So I'll probably need to do that at some point. So we can build it though. So let's look at this. And then we have the old firmware config. We're not going to use that board, so we're going to make a new one. And then this is the part that I got to go to the manual for to figure out what clipper settings I need in here. This SKR mini manual is not as nice as I would want it to be. It's not as feature rich as some of the other boards. You'll have pinouts and clipper settings and all these other things. The pinout on this board is very, very basic, and it tells you nothing about clippers. So I don't know how useful this is going to be to us. May have to jump over to their GitHub and figure that out. So let me drop this and get over to their GitHub, and we'll see if we can figure it out. Oh, and if you haven't gotten your raffle tickets yet, I think today is the last day to get raffle tickets. Reth, if you're still in chat, confirm that for me, but I believe clipper info is in the top of the sample config. Yeah, probably. I want to go over to the GitHub just to make sure, because I've copied and pasted a lot of different things.
Thank you, Aaron Mulhern, for the follow.
Thanks for the follow, Aaron. Appreciate you. Thanks for the sub. But yeah, I think today's the last day to get tickets, so Reth, if you're in there, can confirm that. So far, raised almost $5,000 for 3D Printing Elves, so thanks to all of you for jumping in there and making sure that you get your raffle tickets. All of that goes over to help kids have toys this season and all year long. So if you need tickets, come here, get tickets. You can see all the different prizes on the list. And if any of these are interesting to you, so here's Armor 3D, working with Fabrico and West 3D to do an Ender 3 NG conversion kit. So the estimated value on that one is $900, and it could be yours for $10. I think that's a pretty good deal. That's a 1-to-9 ratio. 1-to-90 ratio, excuse me, 1-to-90 ratio. PrusaWire we're building today. That one's here. And then Baby Belt from Lee Marie, who's also in chat. They're going to donate one of those. And then a bunch of gift cards and some other things in here. And then the ultimate prize down at the bottom, excuse me, at the top is your LDO 2.4 kit. So roughly valued at almost $1,500. So that's 150 to 1 ratio just for one raffle ticket. So if it is interesting to you at all to win any of these prizes, I encourage you to go over there and buy a raffle ticket so you can support 3D Printing Elves and have a chance to win some of this stuff. Cool? So now we'll go over to the GitHub for Big Tree Tech. 285 is really exciting. Yeah, if you like it big, 285 is where it's at. SKR mini. There she be. What's a mini MZ? I've never heard of that. Anyway, squirrel. Okay, and then firmware. It is a V3 in here. And then clipper-wise, let's see what we got. So they provide you the different firmware bins that you can flash and whatnot, if that is your preference. You can flash it directly to the board with a USB, micro USB card. But I like to build it and flash it through the Pi. So in here, we're going to do... if it comes signed by me, you can get PLA, PETG, or ABS 285 if you win. Ultimate prize is the friends we make along the way. There you go, Nick. I love the positivity. So I've got like so many windows open right now, it's hard for me to figure out where I'm supposed to be. There we go. It's a lot better. Okay, so in here, get out of here. There's like a little gnat that wants to land in my face. All right, so in this portion, we're gonna do that, and then there's an STM board, so we'll choose STM. The model, I can't really see because it's behind the window, so let's check this out. Model is gonna be the G0B1. Come down here, that just happens to be the same sort of processor that you would find on some of the toolhead boards, is the G0B1. 8 kilobyte bootloader makes sense. Crystal is 8. And then we probably will run on USB. I need to make sure that I have a cable for that. It looks like a USB-C. I think I have one of those. Yes. I've got exactly one of those. So we'll connect that guy here in a second. What else? And then because it does run Calico, you can change some of your features. So if you don't want to support some of these other features and maybe free up some bandwidth to run other processes, you can enable or disable these at will, depending on what you want to run, right? So I don't have any NeoPixels connected to the board, so if I wanted to free that up, I could deselect this option here, and it would disable that function in the board. And it just wouldn't write that code over to Clipper. I don't see any reason to change any of these things in here, but you could do that if you wanted to. I like to keep the optimization for stepper the way that it is, so that's enabled by default, and so we'll do that. And then if you want some higher precision, I usually run that one as well. There are no GPIO pins to set for this particular board, but if your board did have them, you would add that in right here just by selecting enter. You would type what you want, whatever your manual tells you, and then you would hit that, right? So we'll quit, we'll save that one. Kia is going to automatically build for us. What's it say? Gnat versus cricket. Yeah, so gnat with a G is ridiculous. Cricket doesn't bother me, it's just a little noise. They don't try to land on my face and my hands and everything else. But gnats and flies, I don't know what it is, but here, for whatever reason, as soon as I open the garage door, it's like all the flies want to come in here and hang out. Hey, Projects in Dad's Garage, good morning. Thanks for being here. I think while that's building, I'll connect this next cable here. I know I want to do, I think there's space to get behind this. And so, I think I can run up behind here. Well, I'm wrong, there's not space. Okay, so we'll do the less refined route, because either way, this is gonna have to plug in here to the Pi. And there's a hole here in the back of the, or I'm sorry, in the side of the case that I can sneak this cable in here. But the way that I'm gonna do it is kind of go behind all of this power stuff. Come on. And it would be ideal to have a right angle cable here, but I don't have that. This is what the board came with. And so this one is going to be tight. And I think it might be a little too tight to get in the port there. And we can finagle that. Let's make sure I don't have it upside down. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna... Alright, let's rethink our approach here. Let's go on top of these cables, that way I've got room to get in here where I need to. Yeah, the cable, this molding area is too much to be able to make the turn to get that in there without a lot of uncomfortable force. And so I'm trying to put that bend sort of behind where the Wagos are, and it's just barely enough. So rather than undo the board and do all that, I might trim away some of this over molding on the cable just to be able to get enough bend on there. I think that's what we have to do. Alright, so well, we're done building firmware, but it's not going to matter until I connect the board anyway. So I just need some that, or maybe heat gun on the bend. Heat gun on the bend might be a good idea. Let's try that, John. Thanks for the tip. Let's see what we can do. I have a small heat gun that I have one of these, like a pen style. Works pretty well. Let's see if I can do something with that. It is pretty loud, so I'll mute you guys. Now so you don't blow your ears out. But the only thing I don't like about this is a very short cord. It's maybe only 2 feet long, 2.5 feet long, something like that. But I'll try some heat on this. Let me mute my mic so I don't blow. John, that was a great tip. It actually worked a lot to get some flexibility in there. It is pretty cold out in the garage, and that worked just enough to be able to get that in there. Shout out to John for being subscriber of the day. You win a prize, sir. You get bragging rights for the next week until we stream again. Yeah, that did it. That was enough to get some bend in there. John is amazing. All right, now the rest of this, I just want to push down into the case as far as I can. So I just don't like cables hanging out all over the place. If I can push the rest of that down inside here, wrap this around to the back side of the board. Yeah, not as clean as I wanted it to be, but I don't know that we have an option here. And that's pretty good right there. Great. And then once that cools down a little bit, it should sort of solidify where it needs to be. Shout out to John. Hey, Zims. Thanks for swinging by and saying hi in the chat. We're wrapping up PrusaWire today. Every time I come on stream, I think about the rat rig, especially when I see your name. And I ran into an issue earlier in the week with that one. I think I need to check out my connections for the Kraken. That's what's in there, the Kraken. Okay, so that is in there now. Let's flip back over to our Chrome tab, and you can see that it is now, hold on. Why are we off screen? Hold on. There we go. I'm gonna just move you over here. How about that? All right. So it is built. Now we can do a flash, or you can do option 3 where you just build and flash all together. I don't like doing that one. I like to have just a little bit more control on what I do. And so I like to do them separately. So I will choose option 2. And it's going to ask me, select an existing config or create a new one. I feel like we just did that. Okay, so we'll do a new one. It's going to be regular flashing method. Make flash, USB, UART. Did not put it in DFU mode yet, so let's do that real quick. Grab some of those. Now it's usually the same on most things. You have normally 2 buttons. There will be a boot and a reset. I'm not seeing a boot button on this one though. So that may be different. It may not have a boot button. It may be just a jumper here. And so took that off earlier. We can add that back on. Morning, Mike. Looks clean. Just hit you up. Created a 500 Garolite sheet. Jeez, I need a 300 Garolite sheet. No, I think for my Kraken, I think what I did is maybe I have the motors connected out of sequence. But you can catch the edge of the rat rig right here. I still don't have panels on it because once I added the hybrid system, I thought that I could just update my config and it would work. But I don't know that RadOS takes into account different main boards other than the Octopus. And so I don't know that my motor connections are connected where RadOS believes they are. So I think I need to change them because my hybrid system will not work. It grinds. I haven't been able to get back to it yet. So I think this is connected via USB and DFU mode. We'll find out here in a second. If not, we'll have to get very manual. No MC is found. Okay, so then let's try USB. So the RP2041, that has to be the Nighthawk. It's already flashed with Clipper. And then the other one, I don't know what that is, but it's detecting and it's not the original one. So I think that's the board. Let's see, regular flash config, start the flash process. Yes. We'll see if this works. Flashing failed. Probably because it was not in bootloader mode. I cannot access where, well, I guess I could kind of access the SD card there. All right, I need a guide. Turn this off. And if I come in here, let's see, install. So it wants me to use whatever we make in the firmware.bin. Let's see. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, the new Tron movie's out today? I didn't know that. Yeah, we're supposed to take the girls. They got A's and B's in school. Both of them. A's and B's in school on this last interim report. And so we want to take them to lunch and do something fun with them today. But I didn't realize Tron was out. Read the fucking manual much? No. No, I don't read the manual much. The manual actually kind of sucks, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't give me a lot of information on how to flash the board. And so it's not very useful. It talks about the features, the parameters, some of the meanings of the status lights and things like that. But it doesn't, I mean, it's barely a pinout diagram. Like, I have nothing to tell me what pins are what. So it tells me about connections in general. It doesn't tell me about anything else. Yeah, so I don't even know why the manual is useful. But what we're going to do is we'll go back to like the manual method of doing this. Put your pants on inside out. You need more coffee. Hey, good morning, Zoid. Did I look up the Voron dock for flashing the SKR Mini E3? I have not. That's where I'm going right now here in a second, ref. Just got to throw it in the bin, yeah. I just don't want to do it. Because the firmware bin that they give you is based on mainline Clipper. I'm running Calico on this one, so it won't connect. It'll have a mismatch on what the Pi expects and what the board is giving, and so it won't work to use just the SD card method unless I pull down the stuff that I just made and then put that on the card and send that over. Yeah, Pezles, more coffee, more lip gloss. So I think what I'll do now is we'll do LSUSB, see what's connected. The Open Moco one, that is the, what's that called? The Nighthawk, the SB Nighthawk. So that is not what I want. There's another one over here that already has something flashed to it. So it's probably set up for CAN. But getting it over to Clipper mode, we'll go over to my other resource here. So this one, sorry, where's my printer build links? That's what I need. Initial startup, and then software config, I believe. We're going to use the Switchwire because this board was originally supposed to be for the Switchwire. This is the config here. Not helpful. You can also look at Esoterical's USB flashing guide. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Begin with all the controllers disconnected from the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see what's on here. Let's try this one. Alright, so it does have some sort of clipper on it. It's just not the clipper that we need. You remember correctly, the V3 needs to be flashed via SD card. Could be wrong. You might be right. I don't know how to, Oh, fine, I'll do it. I know there is a browser. Here we go. And then if I go to my Clipper, and then Clipper out, that should be the one that we just made. And you could see that it was made today at 0817 this morning. So that's the one that we just flashed through Kiao. Grabbing that, putting that on an SD card might be the fastest way to do this instead of dorking around for the next 2 hours. Let me find an SD card. Here is my USB. Jeez, I felt like I had tons of SD cards laying around, and now all of a sudden, here we go. I was about to say, now all of a sudden they're all gone. Right, here is a 32 gig card. Probably use that. Pezlis needs to just become a rapper. Doing life wrong. I mean, when you're home, I guess you just do whatever you want. Like, it's your house, pants are optional. Sorry, just trying to put this in the PC here. I thought it was a great idea to mount my PC underneath the monitor, like to the pegboard wall I have right here. But makes it difficult to connect and disconnect some USB stuff. So wouldn't say that it was the smartest idea, but it was the only option. And then before we end stream today, we still have to give away Filament. So if you haven't gotten into the Filament giveaway, please go in there and do that. unless you don't need any. The other thing I want to do is show off something cool that we're going to do for the next series. So today, finishing up PrusaWire. Next week, we're going to give away PrusaWire and the V0 that we saw a couple of weeks ago, and all the other prizes that come along with the 3D Printing Elves raffle. And then following that, very special guests, very special build, and we'll cover that here in the next hour before we wrap up. All right, so just plug that one in. There's nothing there. I'm going to grab this, and we can download that file to the other location where my SD card is. Got it. I refresh that. It is there. Clipper.bin. Love it. So eject that. Take this out. Or get a ton of subscribers, but no necessarily the ones you want. Yeah, that's why I'm really glad that we have the folks in this community that we do. Is I'm not seeing a lot of, you know, I'm trying to think of the word to say. Spam bots, I guess, is the best way to say it. Sex bots, however reference you want to say. But I don't see a lot of that in the stream. I don't know if that's because the filter is very good, or if we're just not big enough to garner spam like that. But I'd be okay with just having the number of subs that we have. Like I said, this is a channel about finishing projects and accountability more than being a force to reckon with in the YouTube streaming space. I'll leave that for other people to do. All right. Do I want some P-bots? Oh, man. Yeah, P-bots. All right, so we just flashed this card and jam that in there. Green light came on. That's a good thing. I just needed to cut this zip tie to move this cable out of the way. And then I think all I have to do is hit the reset button. And once I do that, it should have taken the flash. Once that happens, we remove the card carefully without dropping it. We put it back in the PC to see if things have switched over from firmware.bin to firmware.cur, and that did not happen. Probably because I didn't name it correctly. Let's see, what am I supposed to name it? Firmware, right? Yeah, I left it as clipper.bin. That explains why I didn't flash. Yeah, copy firmware.bin and then put it in there. Do not change the file name, insert the card, repower on or reset. The update will complete after 10 seconds. You should be able to see the status LED blinking red during the update. Wonderful. Okay, let me rename this. Firmware.bin. Refresh. Eject. Hey, Emoji, good morning. Good morning. Hopefully we get the PrusaWire going. Just finishing up some firmware stuff right now. I had an issue earlier, but I think I got it figured out. Flashing, and then it just happened really quickly. Flash, 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 and then went away. So now I'm hoping that was enough. Hey, Skyrim. I think I can pull that out of there. I don't know that I need to keep the SD card in there. Dave, if I'm wrong and I need to have the SD card in there all the time, let me know. But I feel like that's all I needed to do. Let's check it to make sure that it did actually flash over to firmware.cur. It did not. It just still says firmware.bin on my SD card. Cool looking project. Thanks, Racky Mix. Not my design. Ella Fox is the designer. I just built it on stream over the last couple of weeks. but we're going to give it away. So if you really like it, you're able to win it just by getting some raffle tickets. There are things popping up in chat from time to time that will take you exactly where you need to be to buy raffle tickets. And for $10, you get a ticket, and you can win this burn. Once it flashes, the name will change to firmware. Tracking, Howie. Yeah, so it remained as firmware.bin. It did not change to firmware.cur. So I'm not sure if it went over or not. And then looking at the shell here, it's given me this, but I don't know if that's correct. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop it into our config regardless and see if that works. I don't believe it will, but we're gonna try. Thanks for dropping the link in there, Aaron. Yeah, that's the link if you want to build one of these yourself. If you have a spare Mark III lying around and you want to use up some filament and improve your Mark III, that's the project. This one has been weird. What is this? Unparsed config option enabled package kit? What are we talking about? Not familiar with that error. Detected an update manager. Okay, so let's go over here. Moonraker. Maybe this, yeah, this right here needs to go away. You've entered the giveaway, and if you win, you want to donate the filament to the 3D printing elves. Awesome, Nadir. What if you don't win filament? What if you... Oh, you're talking on the giveaway today on stream. Got you. It took me a second, but I think I know what you're talking about. MCU unable to connect. Great. Yes, that's what we expected because we have not looked at that yet. Luckily, it is over here in the output that we've already seen. So we'll just copy that over, add that one in here to the SB2209. Right there, and then that should be able to talk now. Let's see. Package kit false. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, right? So the 2209 needs to, let's see. If you ever run into this, it means that you have several boards and those boards are running different firmwares. And so the way that I would go about this, right, is I can see that my Pi is running this version of Clipper, whatever that means. I know that that is Calico, and that is the current version because I just flashed it this morning. What my SB2209 is running is a different version of Clipper. You can see it's a lesser version, so they're not talking appropriately. But I also see that my MCU is running a 12.0 version, so that one should be okay. What we need to do right now is flash the 2209 with the proper Clipper config. And I believe LDO has something on that on their site over here. So if I go to LDO Motion and I look at some of their products, I can look at this toolboard here. Sorry, it should be under guides. Get all the positron stuff up front. And then once you get past all of that, you should find some 2209s, and I don't. Interesting. Let's see, Nighthawk. Let's try it this way. Here's my 36. I can click over to the deal here. Let's see. So the actual website I should have gone to is LDO Motors. I'm sorry, docs.ldomotors.com. And then that would take me here once you navigate through. So if I want to do Clipper, we just need to put the board into boot mode. So reset and boot button. This is normally done by moving the tool to the front, opening the cover. The LEDs. The leftmost LED is the active. Reference the photo below to find it. All right, so boot is towards the front of the tool head. Reset is towards the back. Great. So we just need to build some firmware for this one now. Got to get the littles down for a nap, catch up later. Yeah, no worries, Pathetic Boom. We'll see you back in a little bit. Alright, what I'm going to do right now is try to flash this tool head board, which means once again we spin the printer around. And then hopefully you're able to see that. Yeah, I think that's about right from what I can see in the camera. So you've got boot, reset towards the back, press and release. I'm gonna hold boot just for a few seconds here and let that go. I'm not seeing any flashing lights, which I think is okay. I think that's fine. And then leftmost should be important later. Reference the button. Yeah, there should be an active light down here. But I don't know if that is supposed to flash or not. Just kind of going through the manual really quickly to see. Everything went smoothly. Should see the active light flashing. So maybe it needs to flash. Alright, so these do come pre-flashed from the factory. So I think maybe... So the light is on right now. Once I do... Once I do that, the light goes out. I think that's okay? It's not super clear. Hey, Timur. Hello. Just trying to get the tool head board flashed with Clipper. It's outdated and I need to update it. Alright, so we'll take you back to Chrome and we'll look at the shell here. So you're going to have instructions sort of behind the screen a little bit. I'll try my best to get as much as possible, but it's also important that you are able to read the text here. So just kind of following along in the example. Let's find a good place for this. I think right there is fine. Let's do that. Okay. In the example, it's got us doing this. So we're going to go to CD Clipper, and then we can do make menu config, and then we want our STM32 according to the, sorry, we want our RP2040 according to the manual. You can change that here. There are two different kinds that you can use, but we want the 2040 for this one. And then the next one is a 16 kilobyte bootloader with the interface being USB, like that. There's no ID. Features that you can turn on and off. We covered that a little bit earlier, but if you're curious and you're just getting here, you can turn on or off different features that you want to compile for it. So this might save you some space in the memory of the chip if you turn on or off different features. So let's say you do not plan to use an LCD at all. You could turn those features off in this build, and it'll be a much smaller build. It'll build more quickly, things like that, if you're concerned about that. I like to optimize stepper code for both edges, and then we need, for the Nighthawk, we need a GPIO pin. So it's exclamation point GPIO number 8, and that's just going to turn that pin on when the microcontroller starts. And then high precision stepping, I'd like to turn that on. You could turn it off if you want to, but I like it for my extruder and all the other motors. With today's hardware, things should be fine with that. If you're having random shutdowns and timer sync errors and things like that, maybe consider turning some of this stuff off, but I have not run into that yet. All right, so that is that. Let me get back over to my Chrome tab here. The next important thing to do, because we built firmware for the main board a minute ago, we want to make sure that that is gone. So the way to do it is to make a make clean. It's going to wipe out anything in that out folder on your clipper, and then you can do a make, and it's going to make a fresh copy without getting confused. Furman any weather, good morning. Just in time. Trying to get the firmware flash to the Nighthawk board. And here in about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes, try to give away some filament. So if you're not in the filament giveaway, there's a pin post in chat. Go there, fill out the form, give me your actual YouTube name and a contact email, and we'll send that over to Jason and get you guys a spool of filament from LDO, courtesy of them. Great, so that just built. And then the next thing we want to do is, because it's already flashed and everything, we can do some of these other commands, like this Python command. And then we install the other one. There's the second command. That might take a minute if you've never done this before. This is the first time I'm using this board, so it may take a little bit to install some of this stuff. Cool, so that one's already good. And then if we want to flash firmware to the MCU directly, we have to stop clipper first. That's this first command. And then we'll make flash to the serial ID of my board. So I need to copy this first. It's going to give me the ID. There is that one. Why is the other one not showing? We had it a bit ago. Okay, well, we'll try to pull it out of the config here. So we'll copy this first piece, put that there, go to the end, and then I'll come over to my config and I'll pull down this piece here, back over, paste, and I'm getting an error. So unable to flash the device. Okay, once you are done with flashing clipper, make sure to look on the Positron GitHub for firmware. Will do, thanks. Ninja Creamy is the right choice for 3D printer, right? You may have failed in the bot check. I thought that one was pretty funny. You caught me. I like to slide Easter eggs in there, both when I'm speaking and talking about things, and then also in products, right? So like when I put the form out there, usually I try to put an Easter egg or two in there. So I love it. Yeah, you can tag in mobile Armor 3D printing. You just have to do the @ symbol and then type in my YouTube username exactly, even to the case, right? So uppercase, lowercase, and any digits or underscores or anything like that. You have to type it exactly, and then it'll tag on mobile. Once your autocorrect learns those things a few times, your common stuff will pop up. I'm often on mobile when I'm watching you and some other folks, and because I often comment and do all that stuff, like the normal people's names will auto-populate for me. You liked it? Yeah. Hey, Clownhammer, good morning. Make sure you get signed up for that filament giveaway. Win yourself some LDO filament. Okay, so that did not work for us. Let's try this clipper method. I'm sorry, this catapult method, and see if that works. So I'm going to, we'll see if we can actually, let's get rid of that. Let's go back to the start here. Let's go to the home. Let's put in this command, and it's going to pull in some catapult stuff. I don't know that I have pulled that over to the Pi yet. Testing the mobile tagging sorcery. Hey, Petty. Crypto says he appreciates the Easter eggs. It's a cool detail. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a wise guy. I'm a smart ass, and I like to slide things in. So I will sit here and have a legit conversation about whatever it is, straight faced, like I'm talking normally, and I'll slide a little thing in there and just keep going with the conversation. And I love to see people's faces when that happens. Oh, we got a new sub? Who's that? Marginally 42. Mike. Thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate you. Each one of those helps out the channel. Oh, and if you guys didn't catch it, actually yesterday, right? Like right on time, 700 subs as of yesterday morning. So thank you all for sharing and liking and becoming members and all that stuff. Huge help to the channel to get it out there and grow. So thank you all for doing that. We breached 700 subs yesterday, trying to get to 750 by the end of the year. That was the goal when I started this back in, I don't know, late January, February, and we're nearly there. So thank you all for doing that. One step closer to 1K. Exactly right, 1K. Go for 1K, I think, is probably being a little bit aggressive, but I think May 1st is my goal for 1K. 750 for the first year is pretty dope to me. All right, that got through. Let's see if I can now do the rest of these steps. Do that one, take us to a catapult environment, and I got some errors. What's going on there? Well, let's try this other one. We may have to go with esotericals. That's the one I'm most familiar with. The LDO one I am less familiar with. Let's get into 1K before the end of the year. Dude, that would be awesome. If I made 1K by Christmas, just I would be flabbergasted. I don't know that I would have anything to say. Okay, so now we got to force the Nighthawk to enter catapult bootloader. Man, I can't speak today. I could tell that I'm a little bit off. Start by quickly double clicking the reset button. Let's try that. You should see the ACT light blinking. No, it does not do that for me. So that tells me that maybe there's not catapult on it. Let's check it out. Yeah, so it's got clipper there. I don't see anything with catapult. So that's very strange. All right, let's try this. Let's clipper. Going back to the original step here, we're going to stop clipper service. We're going to see if we can do this the normal way with the make flash command. Maybe it's because I had not been in the right mode on the board that it wasn't taking. So we're just trying things. So that's that. I can copy down our 2040 info here and see if that flashes. Flashing, rebooting. Hopefully that worked. And then we can restart Clipper. Great. Now let's go back over to the board. Turn you off. Sorry, not the board, the mainsail. Close this. Firmware restart. Let's see if it'll connect now. Nope. So the board itself, SB2209, is not wanting to talk for some reason. All right. Gotta figure that one out. Question about the raffle. Let me get you in a good window here. Question about the raffle. Your 11-year-old wants to join the Xmas raffle with his birthday money, but I didn't know if it was one. No, it is not limited. You can go and buy as many tickets as you want, Birdman Anyweather. And that goes for anybody. If you want to go and buy 1,000 raffle tickets and stack your chances, go do it. There's no limit on the number of raffle tickets you can buy. So if your 11-year-old wants to go buy tickets, do it. If you want to go buy additional tickets, do it. It's not limited in any way. He's an avid printer himself. That's good. That's good. Start them young. I've tried to get mine out here, and they will come out and check out things. My youngest actually has named all of my printers. We've got Big Green for the Rat Rig. It's Big Gray for the H2D. Little Gray for the X1 Carbon. She's got Little Orange for the PrusaWire. There's what does she call the, I forgot what she named the V0, but it's something Christmassy. So can someone win multiple times? That's pretty sweet. I don't think you can win multiple times. That would be a little unfair. We have not, I don't know if we've talked about that specifically. My opinion, I would say no. Grinch, yes, Grinch. My opinion would be no. That would just be unfair for folks. So I think once you win, you get removed from the raffle, from the wheel, basically. And whatever is left, going all the way up to the grand prize, whoever is left over will have the ability to win those prizes. But if you have suggestions on the way to manage that, I'll take your suggestions. But right now, I don't know that that's the way we're going to do it. We're having a meeting right after stream today, here in about an hour or so, and those are questions that we can talk about. On the 3D printing elves, yes, on the 3D printing elves. Hey, MakerMind Nexus, Dan, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to fight through some of this Clipper stuff right now. I need to get the SB 2209. Okay, so seeing some stuff behind the scenes, Rhett says they do not get fully removed. So it sounds like maybe you can win double prizes. Just that ticket gets removed. Okay, got it. I understand. So yeah, thanks for the clarification, Brett. So Birdman, Anyweather, and for anybody else, I think I spoke out of turn. So what happens is, let's say you have 2 tickets. Your first ticket hits and you win a prize. We remove that ticket, not you specifically. Okay? Once that ticket goes away, you still have your other ticket, and that other ticket can still win stuff. I was a little misleading in what I was saying there. So there you go. Does that answer your question, Birdman? Be thankful to be lucky enough to win any of the prizes, but really hoping for that V0. How we do it? Hoping for you, man. I hope you get what you want. What I would say is, if you don't win, reach out to me. I'll tell you exactly how I built it so that you can replicate if you really want to. If you want to go and get a red V0 kit and build your own, reach out to me. I'll tell you exactly what I did. Great. Okay, so this board is being weird. I don't know why it is not wanting to flash. So let's make sure I'm not crazy here. This is where we start with the firmware. Thanks for the clarification, Ref. I appreciate you. All right. So it's supposed to come with Catapult and Clipper already installed. And I think that's true because in the interface, I can see that it does have a version of something. That something is not Calico for sure. And so we need to do that. You're back. Miss anything? No, you did not. Did I drop the trousers? What trousers? I'm not even wearing pants. Win or lose, the cause is good. Agree. Agree. Because it's a flash? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, this is the part that I'm a little bit confused on, though. It says no special setup is required. You simply need to be hooked up as it operates normally, which it is, with the tool board connected to your Clipper host device, which it is. You also need access to the 2 buttons. I can see those on the board, normally done by moving the tool head to the front, opening the cover, and then note the LEDs. Got it. Great. So, compiling Clipper firmware, we just did that, right? So what we have is Calico firmware built for this tool head, okay? We did the make clean and the make. And now it says we'll generate this Clipper out. You're ready to upload to the tool board. Recommended method is the make flash command. We tried that, but let's see if we can just run through it again. Maybe I screwed it up somehow. You're dying. You think that's one of those stream elements you were just giving an example of? Sorry that I can't stay longer, but you have to run. Hey, John, I appreciate you being here for the time that you are allowed, man. Make sure to like the stream on your way out. Thanks for everything. Too sharp for killer pants. You're right. Always miss the important stuff. Nah, you didn't miss anything important, pathetic Puma. We're going to give away Filament in roughly 27 minutes. That's the important thing. So if you want a free spool of LDO Filament courtesy of Jason, be here 27 minutes, enter the raffle that's pinned in chat right now, and we'll do the giveaway for that. And yeah. All right, let's work through this. Firmware setup is usually the part that I like the least. It just, for whatever reason, it takes me multiple tries. It gets frustrating. And I don't know if that's me with lack of paying attention to detail or how I'm screwing it up. But honestly, I'm not a Linux wizard. And so this stuff is kind of outside of my understanding in the first place. So if I do something wrong, I don't understand why it's wrong or how it's wrong or any of that. The documentation that I follow is usually pretty clear. Like LDO does a great job with their documentation. Esoterical's guide is really good for CAN bus type setups. And so those things, I get through it a little easier. But some of the other unique stuff, multiple toolhead devices, multiple boards, that kind of stuff, it can get a little weird. Definitely improved from what it was like 3 years ago. There are actual guides on how to get through this now. But that wasn't always the case. And it used to take me an entire day just to kind of fight through it and figure it out. But there are a lot of tools and resources out there these days to help with that. All right, so let's do this now. Here, we'll stop the Clipper service. And then we can do this one. And I know that I need to put my USB device number in here, which is the one above that we had pulled earlier. And it says that it flashed stuff, but I don't know that to be true. So this is where we start the service and then flip back over to your dashboard interface to see if a firmware restart will do that. So it's already trying to do so. My MCU is shut down now, so I guess that's a good thing. Let me see where our software stuff is located. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like all of our versions are the same now. This is our MCU with Calico. It is up to date. Our Pi is up to date. And then our SB2209 is still not up to date. I don't understand why that's not flashing like it's supposed to. But it's not taking the MCU either, which is weird. Killer, do I want to give away a second spool of filming? You add a spool of unspooled kitchen. Dude, I would love to. Let's get it out there. I've got my spool right down here. Oh man, I still haven't printed with it yet. I need to. I need a thing. Like, I'm very... When I get special spools of filament like this, you didn't autograph mine, by the way. I'm a little disappointed. You or Layer by Layer. You didn't autograph my spool. I'm disappointed. We agreed that it would be autographed, and it's not. But yes, I would love to give away one. So what Moji3D is talking about in the chat right now, for everyone listening, is giving away another one of these. I want to say independent, but that's not correct. Bespoke. There we go. Bespoke. A bespoke spool of filament designed by Moji3D and Layer by Layer. So if you want to know what this one looks like, draw two and you'll send the spool to the second winner. Okay, will do. This is what it looks like. So it's sort of a translucent, to me it looks like Starburst. It goes from red to pink to orange and then back through, but it's also translucent. It's a PLA. So you can see that it's a PLA, and they call this, you kiss your mother with that mouth. Yeah, you kiss your mother with that mouth. And thanks to him, we're going to give away one of these as well. So shout out to those guys for being awesome. I still need something to print with mine though. I have this thing where I want to print something special with it because it's a special spool. I saw the other day, it's up here. Let me see if I can reach this. It's up here. So I have this. It's an anniversary spool of PrusaWire PLA, limited edition. This is from 2023? Sorry, I lied. 2021. 2021. Special spool of filament, limited edition anniversary PLA. I still haven't printed with this because I haven't found something special I want to print. So I need suggestions in the chat. Like, what are we going to print with? Floppy cranberry sauce. Bearded printer. I'm going to make you a mod. If you could drop me a link for that, I will definitely print one and share it. I'll share a make on that. I like stuff like that. Let me make you a mod really quick so you can add a link. There you go. If you would do me a favor and just post your link for that in there, so not only me, but everyone can enjoy it. We'll get that out there. But thanks to Moji 3D Layer by Layer for getting that out. And we're still working on, what's it called? Super Freak filament. The Killer Prince special Super Freak filament. I was talking Hoarder. Yes, absolutely. Look at behind me, Nadir. Look what's going on. This is just half of it. And then there's more up there on rep racks. Yeah, I legit have something like 200 spools of filament. You're like that with your PrusaWire too? You haven't uploaded it yet. Doing initial prints to take photos so you can... Oh, yep. Tracking. Okay. Don't worry about it then. I appreciate you regardless. But I still stand by what I say. I will print one once you put it out there. Looks like your Lego backlog. Yes. So not only is it just, you know, different colors and stuff, because you always have to keep stuff in stock for folks that want something special over here, over there. Color this, color that. But also just random stuff that I don't necessarily care about and I can just print test prints with, or print dumb stuff because it's going to get painted anyway. That kind of thing. Nadir says you're speaking for yourself. Yeah, Nadir, you and I align, man. I definitely have. Thanks for the sub, Martin. Martin Keurig. Martin Keurig, thanks for the sub. You also have a chance to win a spool of unspooled You Kiss Your Mother with That Mouth PLA, and then also some LDO filament. One thing we need to clarify, Emoji, if you're still here, is it US only or is it open to anyone? I assume US only, but you tell me. We're doing it live. US only, okay. US only. All right, I think right now I'm confused enough about why this is not working that I just want to do something a little bit more normal. So we're going to go to Esoterical's guide and start from scratch, because I don't know what's going on with any of these boards and why they don't want to talk to one another. I don't think I need to do any of this CAN bus stuff. This initial page sets up your network so that you can run a CAN network on your Pi. We're not running CAN on this. So I believe I can just skip all of this, especially with the resistors. We don't need any of that. I don't need an adapter. Cabling is the stock cabling that it came with, so we should be fine there. So really where I can begin is over at our mainboard flashing portion. So let me run all of these commands. Turn you back on. Let's run all of those commands. And keep in mind, it is a big tree tech Pi. It's not a full up Pi. So in the URL, change CAN bus to USB. Okay. I can definitely do that. Home. And we'll change this to USB. Fantastic. Look at you, Reth, coming through in a pinch. Love it. Bookmarking that one. I didn't know that was a thing. All right. So let's go. We have an STM32 chip. So luckily we're running the same commands. That's just going to have us run all the normal updates and upgrades and everything to make sure that we have the most up-to-date firmware and software possible on the Pi. Thanks for the tip, Reth. I really appreciate that. Reth is winner number 2 for the day. So we got John and Ref saving the day. We were working on getting a M8P and a CD1 to talk to each other till 1 a.m. this morning. Havoc, I feel your pain. I've been there more times than I care to count. Typically, though, I will go to bed at my normal time. And when I say go to bed, I mean like go relax in bed and be asleep by a certain time. I try to be asleep by 9:30, but I typically try to make my way to bed at like 8:30 to give me about an hour to decompress, relax, and actually fall asleep. So I will do that, and then I'll sleep until like 1 a.m. and then I get up again. So I can sort of operate on about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I can do that for like a day or two. And so when I'm really in a time crunch and I need to get stuff done, that's sort of my mode. I will do that plan just to get ahead. And then I'll work from 1 a.m. till 6 a.m. when it's time to go train. I'll go train, hit up work, come back, and maybe get another hour or something later in the day. Hopefully that's enough time throughout the week to get stuff done and rolling, but have definitely been there. Russ says you didn't either, but now you have it bookmarked in 4 different places. Neokoi Prince, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you and all the tips. Your content is fantastic. I've been watching a lot of it lately. If you guys don't follow Neokoi Prince, he is your HueForge resident expert. That guy is amazing with HueForge. And the reason I think, in my opinion, that it really got elevated to the level that it did, you make amazing stuff, and I'm happy to have you here. Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday. Let's see, but we had fun doing it. Yeah, Penguin Makers had fun doing it. G mode, yeah. Do what you got to do. Okay, so next command is this catapult one, right? So we need to do that. First, you need to clone the catapult repo into the Pi. Pretty sure we've already done this. Yeah, so we're already up to date on that one. But then we need our common hardware. So we go to our hardware config. We get to choose what we want it to be. We are running, hopefully it's in the list, and of course it isn't. Ooh, here we go, SKR3. To put it into DFU mode, hold the boot 0 button, and while still holding, press and release the reset button. Oh, there is a boot button on there. Okay, let me spin this printer around. Neokoi, we are finishing up the PrusaWire build, and then we're going to give this away as part of a raffle. To support 3D Printing Elves nonprofit to make sure kids get toys year-round. And so if you're interested, there are links popping up in chat that'll get you over to the place you can buy raffle tickets. Tickets are only $10, and you could potentially just take this printer home with you. That's a weird... I don't have a boot button on here. I think this is referencing an older board, because I don't have that at all. Sorry, I just had to cough. I think you bought your raffle tickets when Red dropped it. Good. So you're already up. Already up. Mac, good to see you. Thanks for being here. But that really kind of goes for everybody. If you have not purchased your raffle tickets, I believe today's the last day to do that. So if you're interested in this printer or any of the other prizes that are on the site, today is the day. You can't run it forever. I don't know that I need this USB connection anymore, but if I just reset, I don't know if that works or not. Take you back over. Does it mean the boot button? Dan, no. So it's talking about the board itself, right? So you can see the Chrome window there. It's talking about the board itself. And there's a reset button here. This has to be like an older version of the board. This is a version 3 of the same thing, but there's also a 1 and a 2. And so depending on which board that you have, it may be different. I don't have a boot button, and I'm not crazy. There's not a boot button there. So the question is, like, how do I get it into DFU mode? It's not clear to me in the manual how I do that, and it's not clear to me on this guide how I do that. I can go over to the Big Tree Tech information this is their GitHub for the version 3 board. But again, it doesn't reference how to do it. They only reference SD card. So back to Dave's point earlier in stream, I think I have to build it on SD card and then put it in the board. And then I guess restart the printer. But other than that, I don't know. You have to pay extra for the version with the boot button. I don't put it past them. You thought Rhett said the 8th? Booty, I don't know. I thought it was today, but again, I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I have so many dates and times and numbers in my brain right now for all sorts of things, both, you know, different stream stuff behind the scenes that you guys, you know, will find out in the coming weeks, and then also like work stuff too. So I could be wrong and have my dates mixed up, but regardless, it has to end before the day of the giveaway. So you have either somewhere between 1 day today and 6 days, which will be the day before the stream. So I'm seeing other messages behind the scenes here. So okay, disregard, not applicable to what we're doing. Still catching up on the new area. Here the cool people wear pants inside out. Oh man, I love this. This is so much fun. I needed this today, guys. It's been a tough week, and coming here and laughing with you all, exactly what I need. Exactly what I need. Okay. So I think I have to build the firmware, and then actually I'm just gonna open this in a new tab. I think I need to build the firmware and then use the card to flash both. If your board doesn't exist and you want all that information, let's see. Yeah, because I definitely don't know how to get it into DFU mode without Googling some stuff. Let's see. SKR mini E3 V3 DFU mode. Get out of here. Here's a discourse. Maybe there's some information in here. Let's see, it looks like the jumper. So to put the board in DFU mode, simply power down your system, jump the pins, power back up, connect the Pi, and then run that. When that's done, power down, remove the jumper, power back up. And Robert's your mother's brother. SKR Mini is bootload. You don't think there's a DFU? Okay, so I have to use a card. Okay. All right. Well, let's do the catapult config and see if we can do that. So let's see. Here we go. This is the one I need. CD catapult and then make menu config. It's not going to be that. It's going to be this with a GB01. Sorry, a G. What did I say? Yeah, that's not even the right. Okay, so this config is not correct. This example. If I look at the Big Tree Tech config, it's clearly different. We need the G0B1, not the H723. Your brain is filled with worms. Your notebook is filled with dates and reminders. I'm not too far behind you, Howie. I'm definitely there. Just purchased some raffle tickets. Thanks. I'm doing two things, trying to catch up on chat and not forget anybody. if I happen to forget your question or comment and you're looking for a response, just go ahead and repost it. I don't get upset about those things. All right, it says build catapult. Like, what? Am I supposed to build the application here? Purchasing 10 now. Thanks for the reminder. Nice. Thanks, Neokoi. So, Howie, that begs the question, do I really want to use Catapult then? Because if it already has a bootloader, I don't want to mess that up. And I just want to use Clipper. I want a different version of Clipper than that's already on here. Does Calico take a different flash? No, Calico flashes the exact same way. The only difference is the features in the baseline Clipper have been expanded. So there are extra features in there than you would be allowed for normal Clipper. But everything else, the way that you flash it, the way that you use it is the same. It just enables you to add additional portions in your config that unlock other things. Stuff like an easier sensorless homing setup, expanded options for kinematics, expanded options for input shaper. You can deem certain MCUs not critical, and that way if they're not connected or they get disconnected, think like an ADXL. Like you disconnect your ADXL, now you have to go and comment that out in your config. But with Calico, you don't have to do that. You can leave it configured, deem it as a non-critical MCU, and the config will still work. So it just makes life a little bit easier in certain areas, but everything else is the same. Catapult is good to have. Being able to get into DFU without hitting a button is a big plus. I agree with that. It's also funny you put to put anonymous and it says Neocode prints on the site. Gotcha. I don't have anything to do with that, but that is interesting. I should be able to build an SSH and make menu config. I think I can build it. What I'm not sure about is if I should, because I don't exactly know how to flash it. Do I flash it via like SD card, or yeah, I just don't know how to do that, and I don't have a good config to do it. The config here in the esoterical guide doesn't specifically reference the version I have, and so I don't know the exact settings that I should be using. And if I go to Big Tree Tech, I'm getting the Clipper firmware config, but I'm not seeing what I need for any of the other stuff, like the bootloader type stuff. So maybe it's in this other SKR Mini E3 V3. I don't know which version I have. And so rather than worry about bootloader, I think I just flash Clipper. I think that's what I do, is I just flash Clipper. So I'm just going to start there. We'll do the SD card flashing method and go that route because the guide doesn't reference exactly my stuff. But it also, man, it's trying to get me to flash via Clipper as well, and I can't do that. So I'm trying to catch up on your chat here. Should be able to build an SSH, make menu config, and export the file. Yeah. So I'm just going to build Clipper. Yeah, and again, this is just not applicable to what I'm doing. So we're going to use the official guide here. What I'm not sure of, though, is like there's a 3.0.1 and then there's a 3.0. The 3.0. Just looking at it real quick, that's what it looks like. So if I build my own, I can just do this normal stuff here. I don't think you can use catapult, as you have always had to change the name of clipper bin. Correct. That's what I'm thinking as well, Pop Away. And so that's why we're just going to skip catapult for this particular build. A little less ideal. You'll have to manually do this if there is a clipper firmware update later for whoever takes this home. But I don't see another way to do it with this particular board. It's one of the limiting factors of this this main board. Okay, so let's just do it that way. We're in Clipper right now. Let's do a make clean to get all the old stuff out. We'll do a make menu config from here. Okay, so we're in the right spot. Let's do a STM. It's going to be the G0B1, or Gobi, like I like to call it, Gobi. You feel like you're reading 1980s MDOS? Yeah, it kind of is. So realistically, Lego Therapy, this is 32-bit configuration is what we're doing. And so you're not far off by saying that. I think we are running USB. That makes sense. Features are fine. GPIO, I don't think we have one. High precision is fine. Q, Y to save. And now we can do a make. This is going to put it into our Clipper out folder. Again, I will remove that, copy that over to our SD card. We'll delete the old version out of there just to be sure. And then we can open up our shell here. 56 watching, only 27 likes. You guys are killing me. Come on, guys, like the stream. We're going to do a filament giveaway here in a couple of minutes as soon as we can get this out over to the SD card. Because of all the delays and stuff like that, we're not going to be able to finish this today. I have specifically taken some time off work later in the week, and so maybe we do an update stream before the raffle. I'm not set on that one though. There will be at least some sort of update that I release on the channel and all the socials to tell you where we are on this build, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it live on stream today. Just because of the way that this stuff is going. It's taken us a lot longer just to generate a Clipper bin. So this is our guy here. I'm going to download that to the thumb drive I have in the computer right now. There it goes. Got it. If I eject that. Let's see if that will work now. Good morning, Additive Adam. Thanks for being here. Trying to get the firmware on the PrusaWire this morning. The hardware I chose is not the easiest to work with. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit older than the new stuff that's out right now. New stuff is easily flashed. The boards that we're working with today, not as easily flashed. So I'm gonna try the trick of shutting down the whole system. We'll give that a few seconds to power down. And then while that happens, I'm going to install the jumper. We'll power on the system and then see if that allows us to flash the board. All right, so that should be good. Turn that off. Put this jumper on here. I should place it in boot mode according to sort of some Google internet lore. And then that's in, SD card is in. What I'm reading and what I think I know, there should be a flashing light up here once that starts to go. We'll see. Power on. I saw nothing flash. Yeah, I saw nothing flash when I did that. Well, let's see if we can connect and find out. These are amazing gifts. Thanks. Making some coffee, had to get some prints ready. Heck yeah. Yeah, I think I'm about ready to give away some filament today. Actually, we're going to do 2 today. Okay, so we've still got the same issues here. It is interesting that the MCU is more up to date than the Pi, which is weird. So it looks like the MCU, the main MCU, is flashed to the correct Calico version. The R Pi is not, for whatever reason. That is odd. That is odd. Okay, this is going to be for another time. I want to give away some filament. So let me get set up here. If you guys have not entered the raffle, you have a few minutes to be able to do that. I'm going to bring over all of the windows and things and stuff. I'm seeing 42 responses in the chat, which is great. If you still need to get in, you need to get in there now. We're going to close this in just a few minutes. Let me bring over the wheel. So we've got the wheel up now. And you guys are liking, you are subscribing, love it. Continue to do that. That definitely helps the channel. And good. Look at all those green boxes. I love it, right? Green boxes. Okay, so for those that haven't gotten in the giveaway, I'm going to refresh this one more time and give you about 10 seconds to get in here. And then we're going to pull names over, okay? I'm not going to add anybody in. So if you're not in, you're not going to win. We do have 2 to give away today, 1 from LDO. I'm going to send your information over to Jason. He'll be in contact with you, and that's how that's going to work. I suspect I'll have to do the same for filament box number 2. That's going to be from the Unspooled guys, Layer by Layer and Moji 3D. They're going to give you some of this Kiss Your Mother with That Mouth filament, and they'll arrange however that gets shipped to you as well. Okay? So that's enough stalling. We're going to close the giveaway now. Giveaway is closed. Let me refresh one more time to make sure we've got all of the names. And let's see. Appears successful. Although it's like really spaced out and weird. Anyway, it added a bunch of like blank lines in there, which is interesting. Let me pull all this over. Okay. So pulling your names down. Hopefully everyone has used the name that they are in chat. We ran into that last week. So if you are different in chats, I'm sorry. All right. We got everybody over. If you don't see your name and you definitely filled out the form, speak now or we're going to leave you out. UV reactive on some colors. Call dibs. Core 1 go burr. Aaron, I'm still jealous about your Core 1. I would love to have a Core 1. Like, truly. I wish it was a Core 1L, though. But I would like one. For sure. Your money's on the blank one winning? What blank one? Oh, there is a blank one. Who is that? How did I get in there? That blank one is probably me. That way I just keep whatever I want. I don't know why there's a blank one in there. That's strange. If blank one wins, we'll respin. Call dibs on the blank spot. You wish there was a C1. C1L kit? What's a C1? Oh, Core 1L kit. Oh, to make it bigger? Is that what you're saying? Dude, by that point, like, why not just get a whole new machine? Because that's a new bed, that's a new frame, that's new rods, new belts. Really, the only thing that stays the same, I think, is the extruder. Which is not a very ideal way to do it. Is that you, Clownhammer? No, Clownhammer, you have a name. This is you right here. You're behind the chat wall, so maybe we can move the chat window over. But yeah, you're on here, Clownhammer. I see you. Let's bring the chat over here. Yeah, you guys are in there. Clownhammer, you're right at the top of the list. But I do need numbers, though. How many times are we spinning this? That's what I need. Oh, you're on mobile? Got it. Yeah, on mobile, I don't know how to help you. Sorry. Yeah, on mobile, it's just showing the main wheel for me. I don't know why that's a thing. I'm seeing 9. 23 from Mad Al. Mad Al won last week with Vitali on stream. Got himself a set of Vitali parts. Pezlis says 5, and because she put on lip gloss today, we're going to go 5 for Pezlis. We got 2 to give away, so I'll catch back up with someone else. But we're going to go with my favorite Twitch streamer with Pezlis. We'll do 5. And good luck. Today's the day. We'll see, Mike. We'll see. Chat is slow on my side over here. Looks like marginally 42, Mike. Marginally 42, Mike. I saw you earlier in chat. I need you to be here right now if you want to take home this LVO filament. You were entering as I closed it, so was filling it out and hit submit and got the not taking entries. Oh. Oh, I gave you guys as much time as I could. I'm sorry, Dan. Big money, no whammies. Wrong mic. Yep, wrong mic. But a mic was chosen, so that's good. Mike, are you here? You have roughly 60 seconds left. Dan, what I can do is I can add you for filament spool number 2. I know how to get in contact with you. But first one, we are closed. First one, we're closed. Marginally 42, there you are. Yippee, I see you. All right, congratulations, Marginally 42. Mike, what is going to happen is I'm going to pass your email off to Jason and his team. He's going to reach out to you to get your address and all the information that he needs to be able to send you what you want. Color and all that kind of stuff you guys can figure out, but that's the process. If you don't hear from Jason in the next 5 or so days, reach out to me on Discord or however you can on social, whatever's comfortable for you, and let me know. That's probably because I forgot to send your info over. So if that does happen, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get you sorted out. Here's what we do. Mike wins the first one, then Mike wins the second one. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome. All right, so we need to add Dan. We're going to add in, I'm making an executive decision. We're going to add in MakerMind Nexus here. This is for the spool of Unspooled 3D. So their Unspooled podcast. This is for their roll of filament, courtesy Emoji 3D. And I need numbers for how many times we spin this thing. Yeah, no worries, Dan. I want you to try this filament out just like I want everyone else to try it out. It's pretty cool looking. It's hard to capture on camera, but a translucent, also color shifting PLA that I've not seen before. It really reminds me of Starburst. Is the best way I can explain it. Bunch of 7s in the chat. Bunch of 7s, 0 times from Penguin. Penguin just hates numbers. How does it smell and taste? I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. I think it smells sweet like PLA normally smells. But I don't know how it tastes. I'll have to let you know. Zoid coming in with all the emoji. Thanks for being a member. It looks so good. It does look like red lip gloss. That's probably a better way to explain it. It's like red lip gloss or Jello. Like that translucent, colorful Jello. Is another way to explain it. Your favorite number is 0. 0 is unique. Oh, get out of here, Nick. Every time I hear my kids say that, and they're like, you don't know what it means. You're so old. And I'm like, 369, do you know what that means? And they're like, no. I was like, get the hell out of here. I think 7 is our number this week. This is for Unspooled Unspooled filament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Good luck to all of you. Thanks to Moji 3D for setting this up. Who's it gonna be? Come on, blank spot. Is it gonna be Tech Jeeper? Nick, my man, you got it, buddy. Nick, reach out to me. I will get your info over to Moji 3D to set that up, okay? Unless you guys already know each other and want to work it out together, then go ahead and do so. But just let me know that we got you taken care of one way or another, okay? Nick, are you here? You have 70 seconds. 7 is your favorite number. My favorite number is 2. My favorite number is 2. Nick, I saw you a couple minutes ago. There he is. Okay, gotcha. Congratulations, Nick, and shout out to Moji 3D for offering that up last minute. That was pretty awesome. So I think due to the generosity and everything today, I'm feeling in a great mood. I want to show off what we're going to do on the next week's stream. So not literal next week, because that is our raffle giveaway on 9 November, next Sunday, 7 days from now. We're going to do the raffle for all of these different prizes. We're going to have all of our guests on stream for that. So it'll be Lee Marie 3D. If you're familiar with them, Keela and Jeremy will be on. Excuse me, Keela and Titty Baby will be on. We'll have Dave from Armor 3D on. And then we'll have Reth and Boron Widow on as well to be able to manage all the raffles. We'll get you guys details before we start giving away, but it'll be very similar to what we're doing here. We'll pull raffle numbers, and if you win, you win. Correction to earlier, if you were here, if your ticket wins, that ticket goes away. If you have multiple tickets, you can still continue to win because you have those other tickets, okay? So chances are you could take home all 19 if you bought 19 tickets, but that's up to you guys. Your favorite number is 63928. It's not obvious, so I thought I'd let everyone know. All right, cool. So it looks like Moji and Nick are going to take care of it. Great. That saves me a step. Going to be a very fun stream with that crew. Yeah, so we're going to, hopefully we have a good time. The idea is that we keep it within an hour to be respectful for everyone and make sure that we're not wasting people's times and stuff like that. But it'll be a little bit of banter back and forth. I want to make it a good time. Goal is to keep it to an hour so we give time back to you guys on a Sunday. However, if that's not the case, it'll be a fun stream regardless, okay? So after that, we're going to have another guest on stream. It's going to be a build series with Steve Builds, who starts in about 15 minutes. So once we end stream here, I'm going to push you guys over to him. We're going to raid over to Steve. So say hi when you get over there and tell him that you came from the Killer Prince stream. But it'll be a build series with Steve. And what we're going to build is right behind me. If you saw my post on YouTube earlier in the week, do you guys have any guesses as to what it might be? I saw some people comment on the post, putting it out there that they think it's this thing, they think it's that thing. I don't know. I didn't hear anybody get it right. So I'll give another chance. What do you guys think it is? Motorcycle. Good guess. But that's the only motorcycle I have, and I'm not giving that one away. It is getting a little cold to ride, though, so we'll see. Delta Flyer. Kittrell says Delta Flyer. Pathetic Puma says Salad Fork. Just order your Moji filament. Good job, Tin Talon. Good job. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll have some Super Freak filament on there for you guys. Antithesis build. No, so we've already done an Antithesis. It's not a V Minion. If it's a Delta Flyer, we can build one together as yours is on its way. Nice. V-Core 3. No, not a V-Core. Brand new car. Everybody gets a car. Delta Fork or a Salad Flyer? I think Salad Flyer. Let's just check it out. We got a few folks that are very smart. It's going to be a Delta Flyer kit. Salad Fork is your second pick. So, Kittrell got it right. Makermind Nexus, kind of right. Somebody else said Delta Flyer up above. I forget who that was. But yeah, this is what we're going to build. So Steve and I Moji 3D. That's who it was. Steve and I are gonna tag up and do a co-stream build with this. We've been printing parts for the last couple days, working with Rolahan and Canrog to... What kind of Darwin is that? Not a Darwin. I'd like to have a Darwin. Actually, I'd like to have a Huxley from Vector 3D. That one looks pretty damn cool. It's an updated Darwin, but he hasn't made kits yet. So if he does, when he does, maybe we do one. But anyway, we're going to partner up with Steve Bills, do a build on this one, which should be pretty fun. So we've been printing parts all week, working with Camrog and Rolahan to tweak some things behind the scenes, but it is just an initial launch of the LDO kit. Probably the same one that some of the rest of you in chat have things coming your way. Mine arrived the other day, and I haven't even opened it yet. So as a little bit of a bonus and a head start, I do want to open it up. You guys want to open it up? DaVinci 10. Yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. Should we open it up? Take a look at it? Get an initial peek at what's going on? I kind of want to. Kitchell says, hell yeah, that's enough for me. Kitchell, let's switch over to the overhead cam and see what's going on. So the box is a little big for what we're doing here. Let me turn off some of this other stuff. We can do turn you off and turn you off. Okay. Chat can move up the screen a little. There we go. All right, this is the box it comes in. I have not opened this at all. I took it out of the outer packaging because I'm using the outer packaging as the receptacle for all the parts. All right, but this is the kit here. Let's move it more towards the middle. Can the internet handle that? I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. My stream right now looks pretty healthy. Hey, GTR Dad. Please, you had to buy yours, so a sneak peek would be fun. Reverend. Yeah, we always have to buy our things. I'll try to get this in camera without blocking too much here. The box is not ideal. So it does come with documents inside. Let's see what that's about. So my camera's a little bit closer than I would like for this. But let's see what's in here. So it just looks like a check sheet of some kind. So this is your, looks like your BOM for the kit. So a bunch of spare parts, which is always awesome that LDO includes a bunch of that kind of stuff. What color am I making it? Great question. I have a theme in mind that it will be Soundwave. So the Decepticon Soundwave, if you can Google those colors, that's what I'm looking at. So it'll be like a silver and a darker blue with some yellow and red pops of color throughout. That's the theme I chose to go with. Love to do a Delta Flyer. It's a 3D printed frame. Yeah, so it's all 3D printed. The only thing that's not printed are, of course, the hard parts, but then the rails and the Delta arms are also not printed. The Delta arms, I think, are carbon fiber. I'm not sure. We'll have to dig in the box, but this is all the stuff it comes with. There's page 2, so you can get a good look at that. Maybe pause. Come back to the stream later as you're watching on your second round. You got to get those watch hours up. As you're watching on your second round, take a screenshot of this. That's what you're going to get in the kit. This is the general bomb. Something I found interesting is that we're using a TCHC TR6 hot end. So this is Triangle Labs version of sort of like I guess a high flow V6 kind of thing. And then a DZ01 from Big Tree Tech. I don't know what that is, but it's a different main board. I thought it would come with like a SKR kind of board or something like that. Not sure. Thanks for the sub, Alan Day. Appreciate you. You saw it has 2020 uprights. Yeah, so there are 2020s in it, but it still has like printed, I guess, covers or something. So not fully 3D printed frame, but the corners that make the triangle are 3D printed. And that's what I thought Kitchell was talking about. The top and the bottom triangle portions are printed. It does have 2020 uprights though. Thanks for the clarification, additive Adam. So that's what you're going to get in the box. That's all the things in the big giant envelope that I just pulled out of there. What else is in here? Oh, that's the other interesting part, is it has an AC adapter. So it doesn't have a power supply in the traditional sense. It has a corded AC adapter like you have with your positron or some of the other smaller builds, which makes it very portable, I think. It allows the build to be smaller and allows you some flexibility. You can get whatever length cord you want here to add AC power to it, and then you would just have the cord for the thing itself. So you get the power brick instead of a power supply, which is pretty cool. And then what else do we have in here? Let's put that to the side. I'll box that back up later. There is your TR6. This is the hot end that it comes with. So is a Delta Flyer a Tinkerer? I think you can probably play with things. It's an open source design, so if you wanted to redesign parts, make custom effectors for different hot end mounts and stuff, you could probably get away with that. But you can find it on printables, actually. Reminds you of the Monoprice Delta Mini. It's roughly the same size. Yeah, that's a good point. So what is in here? You have a ceramic heated hot end here. So this is a circular ceramic heater. You can buy these individually from AliExpress and Triangle Labs and all the other places. But the difference is your hot end here. So this is more of a Creality style, I would call it. So you have the two mounting points here with your Bowden tube going in the top. Down low is where it gets different. The nozzle is like an integrated nozzle type thing. So it's very similar to some of the unicorn type nozzles that you see other manufacturers include. So it's like this. It's a volcano sized nozzle with a stainless tube insert. And that's very different from what we're used to. This is a 0.4 nozzle, but this just sort of slides into the bottom of the heatsink, and then you secure it with the set screw there. And so there shouldn't be any leaks or having to worry about hot tightening or anything like that. You should get filament directly down to the nozzle. So that's pretty cool, I think. No, I mean, if you're stupid like me, can I operate? I promise, Alan Day. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to read your name. Alan Day, I promise if I can do these things, you can do these things. It's just a learning curve. Can you operate it? If you're familiar with operating an open source Clipper-based machine, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. If you've never used Clipper before and you've never built a printer from scratch before, this may be a little challenging. But I think it's a good little machine to learn on. All right, there's your hot end. DZ1. The rest of the stuff is like screws and hardware and stuff like that. We're not going to take a look at that kind of stuff, but we'll look at what a DZ01 is. Roland Hunt uses very affordable parts for his builds. Correct. I think that's the intent, right? Like, use a bunch of hardware that you already have on hand to keep the build as affordable and approachable as possible. This is my first Roland build. I've looked at a Rook briefly just to see, like, hey, do I have the parts in stock and whatnot? Can I build from spare parts that I have on hand? That's kind of what drew me to a Rook, but I have not yet done that. So cool. This is from Big Tree Tech. It's their DZ01. First time I've heard of it. First time I'm seeing it. You're getting a live reaction from me. I do like that they include a Wi-Fi cable, so that kind of indicates that Wi-Fi is built into the board. Check that out. Okay, so that's a DZ01. Love the red heatsink on here. It's a nice touch for me, and it covers up all the steppers, so everything is glued in place. So you have a heatsink that's not going to fall off like sometimes those little stick-on ones will. SD card port, USB-C, also a mini HDMI, I think that is. A full-size Ethernet cable port here if you did want to run Ethernet. And then this one is a different kind of RJ connection. I'm not sure. 2 USB ports there. Looks like an SPI connection here. And I'm guessing that it has like a Raspberry Pi built in. I'm seeing a Raspberry Pi. Was that a 20? It looks like a 2040 chip on there. So it should have a... Is that blurry for you guys? I can't really tell. I'm just noticing that. Sorry if it was. I'm trying to get you something here. Okay. All right, so yeah, it looks like the Raspberry Pi is kind of built into this one. There's an H616 on here and an eMMC. So it looks like you don't need an SD card. It looks like you might have built-in onboard storage. Wi-Fi built into the board. Very, very cool. What else? Let's turn this over and see what we have. So across the top here, you've got 3 thermistors, 1 for your bed, 2 for your hot end, 3 fan ports along that side. Down this side here, you've got motor for the extruder number 1, extruder 0, ZYX. So a more standard board there. You've got in stops down the center for 0, X, Y, and Z. What else? A couple of LED ports here. So 2-pin LED ports on that side, heaters across here, motors here, thermistors and fans across this side. Gotta go. See ya. See ya, Nadir. Thanks for hanging out. So pretty cool. There's a port for an eMMC here. I've never used that, and I don't know if one comes in the box or not. Maybe we add one on. That way we don't have to use an SD card. But yeah, I think that's really cool. And also, I'm seeing a couple of switches as well. I would imagine that has to do with the config. There's a OTC position, UART, and then an Type-C. So depending on how you want to feed data to the board, you have a selector down here that allows you to do that. And then also another selector on the lower side of the board where you can choose either the main chip here or the 2240 chip, depending on which one you want to flash. So that's really interesting. Let's see, in stops down the middle. What is this here? Those are... Okay, so you have 2 ports for LEDs, which is awesome because a lot of boards only come with 1. So 2 ports for RGB LED, a couple more for... These gnats are going crazy. A couple more for power loss detection, and then run out sensors. And then this looks like some part of your power loss detection. So really beefy capacitors there, really beefy power connection as well. So super cool. There's the overview of the DZ01. I could see this going in a lot of other machines as well. Looks really cool. So heatsink does look removable. There are 2 screws on the back to be able to do that. But again, it is glued in place, so you have to fight that glue as well. Looks like some sensorless homing connections here if you wanted to do sensorless homing. Very neat. Okay, that's exciting. I like that. What else is interesting in here? Again, this is just hardware, linear rails, fasteners, that kind of thing. The extruder, I think, is a... Let's see. The stock BOM has it as a, has it as a BMG clone. And that looks like what LDO included in here as well, is that BMG clone. So you've got this. I plan to go with a Voron M4 Mobius extruder just to have a little bit more oomph. It'll use the same internals from this. It'll use the same motor from this. It'll just be in a different housing. We'll add a belt onto it and then a larger gear drive. So that's really the only change that I'm going to do other than add a bottom panel. All right, MC, see ya. Let's get the stream to 50 likes. I don't disagree with you. Lots of zip ties because LDO is awesome, and then lots of hardware as well. So that, guys, is our first look at the Delta Flyer kit. Again, I'm not going to go through all the screws and what extrusions look like. You guys can see that. We'll do a full unboxing and walk through when we start building this here in a couple weeks with Steve. But that is the plan and the sort of first teaser at what's going on. Okay, moving this out of the way. We'll wrap up this stream. I'm going to push you guys over to Steve Builds so you can keep going. He's building his, what's he calling it? The Max something? Sorry, wrong camera. There we go. Trimax. He's doing his Trimax build. So if you're into tool changers, Steve Builds is your guy for that. Will a tube mini fit? Yes, you would have to redesign your fan ducts, and you would have to redesign your effector to fit a mini tube. So while it is, hold on, I've got an example. While it's, so here's a full size. While a mini tube is shorter than your standard tube, it is the same diameter. So it's still big around, and this circumference is larger than the stock hot end, so you'll have to design for that. But you could do it if you really wanted to. Gonna be a good build series. Thanks for the stream. Have a good one. Yep. See you, Raki. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get to work with Steve and to build something. I think that's sort of a lot of people's dream job. But yeah, it should be a good time. But I appreciate you guys hanging out for a couple hours. Sorry we couldn't get the PrusaWire over the line there. I need to figure out what's going on with this stuff and figure out a different process that I just don't have time for today, unfortunately. So I'm gonna turn you guys loose, push you over there, and support Steve and his Trimax. Okay. So see you all next week for the raffle. Spread the word. Get your friends out there to support the stream and to get their raffle tickets. And hopefully one of you guys take it away. Good luck to everyone. We'll see you next week.